Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, and we are joined here today with my cat Oscar. I had to frame him just so you knew it was a cat and not just a hat or a jumper or something. He may or may not stay with us. He might just decide he hates what I'm saying and go. But I thought I'd jump on today and tell you a little bit more about how to manage your anxiety. And the tip I want to share with you today is about validating your anxiety. I know, right? Who tells you to do that these days? Most of the time, we're told to try and get rid of our anxiety. We're told to reduce it. We're told to run it off. You can run it off, and I suggest you start there to get rid of the adrenaline. But we have to respect all of our emotions, no matter how ugly they are. Jealousy, anger, anxiety, horrible though they are to admit that we're feeling, sometimes they come with a message. Quite often, there's a kernel of truth in what it is they want to say. The reason we should respect anxiety in particular is because we have evolved with it. It wouldn't be something we felt unless it was evolutionarily important. Not a word, but you know what I mean. So, anxiety is important for our survival. So, we need to respect it when we feel it, and it deserves to be sat down and listened to. Now, the best way that I think you can do this is just imagine your anxiety as though it's a character. Personally, my favourite for anxiety is to imagine it as though it's one of those little old ladies in Miss Marple. Yeah, you know the ones. They watch everything, they know everyone. Um, they come and they sit and they have tea with Miss Marple, don't they? Not realising that she's, pretty clever. And they just, waffle on about a lot of stuff that's usually quite unimportant. And then they just throw in a real kind of nugget of importance. And Miss Marple's there, isn't she? She's like, yeah, there's the nugget, and off she goes and she solves the mystery. That's how I like to think about anxiety, that it's a little bit of a sorry to all the old ladies out there and things like that, but yeah, it's a little bit of an old kind of, nag. And it does kind of go on a bit, but every now and then it will have something that it's actually kind of genuinely concerned about. Another way to think about it is that your anxiety circuit, not trying to be too scientific about it, but your amygdala is like a smoke alarm. And sometimes it's a really good smoke alarm and it will pick up on a real fire. Sometimes, though, it overgeneralizes and it will pick up on your toast getting burnt. Now, I'm guessing that if your smoke alarm were to go off, you wouldn't ignore it. You wouldn't just carry on sleeping thinking, oh, it's just a false alarm. You'd get out of bed, wouldn't you? You'd get out of bed just to make sure that actually the fire alarm hadn't actually picked up a real fire. And that's the way I feel that we can approach our anxiety to manage it better, is we can actually kind of give it a little bit of time just to check, what was the threat that it had picked up on? What was the danger? Was it a real danger or was it something we've imagined, something we've maybe overreacted to? Um, so the way to do it is to, if it helps, imagine and visualize your anxiety as if it were a character. Let it come and sit in your room with you and just listen to what it says. I tend to encourage my clients to write down questions that it brings. So if I were to think of something that I was anxious about at the moment, we're considering moving, and certainly something my anxiety comes in and sort of talks about is, wow, um, is it a good idea to move during a pandemic? Is it a good idea to relocate to a part of the country that's quite impoverished? Will you get any jobs if you do that? How much should you spend on a house? It's there, nagging away. And actually, if I were to write down some of those questions, some of those are really valid threats. Threat of not being able to earn money when you move and buy a new house. It's a proper threat. But then the threat of relocating to a different part of Britain, um, and worrying that that's an impoverished part. Well, everywhere's got its impoverished part. So is that really kind of as valid as money earning? So that's what I'd like you to have a little go at this week, is that if you are experiencing anxiety, make sure you do the physical things to bring the physical symptoms down. You'll find those tips on my Instagram feed. Um, but then once you've done that and you've calmed your nervous system, then listen to it, have a cup of tea with it, but don't buy into everything it has to say. Sift it through and think, okay, what are the things that are real threats and what are the things that really aren't threats at all? Where's the real fire? Where's the burning toast? Okay, so good luck with that. Have a lovely, lovely day. Enjoy the freezing November temperatures that today has brought. And do enjoy the fact that I'm dressed like Christmas, just to remind everyone it's Christmas and we should try and be happy. Oscar's done a nice roll for you to finish. Take care, everyone.